Hey, thanks for popping in, checking out another video of mine. Been watching a lot of the VidCon events from back in June, and I'm coming away with some really kind of interesting new ideas and some rehashing of some old ones. This biggest one that kind of struck me is this notion of bi-directional communication that's part of mass communications anymore. One of the biggest shifts from when I first started being aware of media, which was very one directional, very unidirectional. You have the voice on high, the talking head on the TV news, for instance, and then speaking down to those of us in the audience. There was mild opportunities to engage, to provide feedback, whether a letter to the editor, calling in, that sort of thing. But again, very, very one-dimensional. And nowadays, with Twitter, with Facebook, with YouTube, you have the ability to actually contribute to the global discussion. And regardless of whatever credentials you have, you can actually still be a valuable voice. Your voice matters, and it's it provides a very different take and a very unique way for the world to actually interact and process things. Good and bad with that. If you're following the current politics, you can, if you probably have seen good debates, interesting content, people bringing ideas and counter ideas. And then you've seen all out trolling, name calling, going all the way down to Hitler bashing. It's really kind of, again, a double-edged sword, as the adage goes. So with that, we're all the media now. We all engage with it. We all provide feedback. Quite often, the news comes from a tweet, from a Facebook post, from some kind of engagement that way. So it's a lot different world, a lot more fascinating world to me. Another idea that came through with that, I was watching Casey Neistat, and one of the things he was talking about was when he was producing more regular content, more standard media content back in the day, it was very time-centric. So if you wanted to watch his latest production, you had to be on it 12 o'clock or 7 o'clock, whatever time it was on that channel. You didn't have access to that channel. If you were busy at that time doing something else, you were stuck. The advent of the VCR changed that to some degree. You could actually time shift, but you were still very, very limited to what you could do. And of course, the power goes out, cable goes out, you're stuck. Today's day and age, you have the ability to watch whatever content you want, whenever you want, as many times as you want. To me, that's really, really fascinating. You can watch it on, like I'm filming this on a Samsung S7. I can watch it on that. I can watch it on my tablet, watch it on my TV. Really, really fascinating, interesting times. With that, one other idea hit me is the global voice. The internet and the web is really heavily dominated still by the West, by Western voices, people like me. But the rest of the world, as we called it when I was first in college, the third world, another iteration of my studies, the global South, but the voiceless have become empowered to a certain degree, and definitely more so than ever before. And that is really, really exciting to me, that we're getting this vast burst of new voices in the scene that have different insights and different ways of thinking and different ways of engaging with information, with the world, with whatever. And we have so much to learn from each other. So having these voices readily accessible to me is a glorious thing. So just some insights, some reflections, and really interesting to consider how our evolution is going to continue and what things will look like in 1 year, 2 year, 5 years, 10 years. What will happen? What will YouTube or any kind of similar, Vimeo, etc. What will these guys look like in 3, 4, 5 years? I'm really not sure. It'd be kind of interesting to explore that. Feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you think. And of course, please subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Carl Setzer, CarlSetzer, same name on the video. I'd love to hear from you. Take care. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.